Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick. The COVID-19 pandemic has not really slowed down the state of Indiana from making big economic development deals. Nearly 26,000 job commitments to create over the next several years. That's so far year to date, as well as more than $4 billion in committed new capital investment. Just this week, a groundbreaking in Maryville for Midwest Truck's new facility in Northwest Indiana, creating potentially up to 150 new jobs. With more, pleased to welcome back to the show Indiana Secretary of Commerce Jim Schellinger. And Jim, again, as always, welcome.
Always good to be with you, Gary.
I want to talk about that announcement in Northwest Indiana in a moment. But first, these are brand new numbers, year-to-date numbers for economic development. 26,000 nearly 26,000 job commitments, $4.8 billion in capital investment, and $27.77 in terms of the average wage. Those are some numbers that seem very healthy, especially as you look at the pandemic. Would you have thought we would have these numbers right now, looking back on it maybe in March and April?
It's interesting, you know, the governor, Gary, his first and foremost concern is always the health of people, as he always says. But in addition to what's happening, and we're having a banner year. In fact, all the numbers we track, whether it be jobs, whether it be CapEx or wages, we're tracking in a record year. Governor holds all those records from 16, 17, or 17, 18, 19, and we're on track for all of those records. Right now, we're at, as you said, over 26,000 jobs, and back when we set the record in 2018, we were end up being 31,112, but we're only at 24.5. So we are outpacing our record years yet again.
What do you think's driving that? I know certainly business climate, but is this reflective of the fact that companies are making decisions based on the future, on 3 to 5 years, maybe more out, and they're making those decisions, feel comfortable about doing it in Indiana?
That's exactly right. The horizons of businesses is a lot longer than you say you would consider with your health. No question about that. We have had some companies that have put certain things on hold because of the COVID virus. But, in general, a lot of it has to do with what we are as a state. People will make you believe or lead you to believe that the rankings do not matter. But those rankings are done by analysts that look at every single state, and they're from Forbes, they're from U.S. News, they're from Chief Executive Magazine. These are extremely important numbers that are analyzed that everybody looks at. So when companies are looking to relocate or looking to expand, they look at Indiana because of how highly we rank and because of Hoosiers, frankly. We just have an amazing culture, an amazing workforce, amazing people.
Okay, you had a groundbreaking this week in Northwest Indiana, Midwest Truck and Auto Parts, aftermarket component supplier, big Midwest operation there, 150 jobs or commitment for 150 jobs there in Lake County, so spreading out that impact on a statewide basis.
Very excited about that today. Groundbreaking will be today. The governor will be in attendance, and this is an Illinois-based company opening up a facility up in Lake County, so very excited about that. And as you know, I was up there yesterday for the Westlake Corridor. Amazing expansion that will change the economics of Northwest Indiana for the long term.
Very quickly, touch on that because it is a generational project for those outside of Northwest Indiana may not realize how long that's been talked about and how potentially game-changing that could be for the region. It's
a multi-million-dollar project. $324 million of it came from the federal government, and this will extend the South Shore from Hammond all the way to Dyer. That will then be in addition to the double tracking, and we will be able to get from Dyer, Indiana, up to Chicago in 45 minutes. Wow. This is going to open up a whole new economy, thousands of new jobs, and billions of dollars investment in the future.
All right, let's talk about statewide impact because so much is focused many times on central Indiana. And the numbers I mentioned, the capital investment, about $3 billion of the nearly $5 billion in central Indiana. But outside of Indianapolis, you look at the southwest portion of the state. Coming in next, almost $1 billion in investment there. A lot of it fueled by Toyota with doing big things in Southwest Indiana.
That's right, and it's happening all over the state. We have job announcements from Steuben County to Posey County to Jeffersonville, Clark County, up to Lake County to Tippecanoe, and all the way to Wayne. And certainly we track Central Indiana, which we count 34 counties of Central Indiana from east to west, up to Howard, down to Monroe. But it's very proportionate when you look at the different different counties. There's 15 of them that we actually track together and consider that Southwest region. And they're doing really, really good. They've had over 1,500 jobs here this year and a CapEx of almost $1 billion. And there's announcements waiting to be made that will be coming in the near future.
Good. Should also mention that we only have 30 seconds, but Northeast Indiana, $335 million, 2,500 jobs, no Forest River, Paragon among some of the announcements up in that region.
In Northeast Indiana, I always say the poster child for regionalism. They really, 13 counties up there, and they pull together and they do things very, very cohesive. And they've realized up there the power of regionalism, and it's better there's safety in numbers, and they do it really well there.
All right, Jim Schellinger, the Indiana Secretary of Commerce. Some brand new numbers on economic development. A surprising look, even during the pandemic, at some numbers perhaps on a path to another record-breaking year. Jim, as always, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Gary.
All right.